Okay, Shalom. Shalom, giving our praises, our glory, our honors unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops of the great millstone. Peace and blessings to the 144,000, rest of the hopeful elect out there. This is your brother, the priest, is I from JMS Atlanta. Back for another. I'm sorry. Back with another edifying video. So this here will be an update to the coming microchip implant, which is the Motb, Mark of the Beast, prophecy coming to pass. As we always say here at GMS, the mark is a physical thing. It will be engraven and cut into the flesh, and it will enable the individual human being to buy and sell in the new emerging digital currency economy worldwide. And there are going to be more applications. Everything is going digital. The digital shift is already happening. It's just a matter of everybody transitioning over to that system and being on board with it. You know, this is the plan of the elites of Esau, the wicked behind the scenes that run the world, and they're gradually, right, through a process called gradualism, all right, they're gradually setting the people up for what they call the New World Order agenda, which will not come to full fruition. You know, once they start microchipping different people around the world and the technology is made mandatory as a part of this coming digital, or I should say emerging digital ID system. It's not coming, it's already here. But you're going to have to be a part of that digital ID system in order for you to be a law-abiding citizen. You know, and anyone that doesn't take the microchip is going to be deemed an outcast and an enemy. And they plan to put those people to death. Okay? Pursuant to Revelation 13 and 15. So this here, I have a few articles that is leading up to that digital shift, because once they push the chip and you have all this technology being utilized and this device is under the skin, in the hands and the minds of the people, that's a fulfillment of Revelation 13:16, right? But first, the infrastructure that the Motb, that implant technology will utilize, that has to be set up. The kinks have to be worked out, which is what they're doing now. They got to streamline the system. So once the elites are ready for this digital ID system to go online, they can introduce the mark. So before that, you have technology such as this being utilized. So it says here, mobile driver's licenses, the digital ID, find support in the U.S., Canada. So they're on board with it, okay? The U.S. is on board with this digital system, which, as a matter of fact, Trump spoke about that. They want to make the U.S., America, the #1 tech hub of the world, which lines up with the prophecy of the Mark of the Beast, because when they introduce the Motb over here, the chip over here, then that's when things are going to move fast as far as prophecy is concerned. Because once this chip is made mandatory and everyone is using digital currency, digital IDs, your records is
90.
digital, the database system of America is which a lot of things are already digital, but they're private departments. Now those departments and the different systems are going to be interoperable with one another. You know. So let me read this here. Let me stop rambling, right? Which is edifying, but let me get into the article. So here it says, drivers in the U.S. and Canada are ready for mobile driver's licenses. A new survey from Tails shows a growing willingness to adopt modernized services, including mobile driver's licenses or digital IDs, self-service kiosks, and online portals, according to a release summarizing the findings. So pretty much they're saying that people are on board with the coming system. You know, the biometrics, the digital ID system, the AI, which will play a big part of that. Pretty much is going to be the manager of the whole digital system, AI, and then the elites of Esau are going to be above, you know, and everybody underneath, everybody at the bottom will be subjects and slaves pretty much to this digital world through chip. That's why we here at GMS, we've been warning you about taking this device in your body, because that is the people choosing, you know, really you Israelites, that's you Israelites choosing the worship of Esau over worship of the Lord. Okay? It says in the survey of over 3,000 people across the U.S. and Canada, 65% of respondents expressed interest in obtaining mobile driver's licenses and digital IDs. Tails expects interest, so I guess they're the one that did the survey. Tails, so they say it in the UK, like you got the Thames River, but it's spelled TH. So it says it expects interest and adoption to continue growing as more U.S. states and Canadian provinces launch MDL programs, and the U.S. Transportation Security Administration, TSA, equips more airport security checkpoints with MDL readers. And what does this mean? This means that in the future, instead of you using your smartphone, they'll just have you scan your hand with the chip in it. Right? The Motb is going to be a requirement to function in this coming digital society. All right? So for now, you use your smartphone. You know, you can put all, you know, your digital wallet, your cards, right? Now these phones come with digital wallets. I remember 10 plus years ago, smartphones, when they were first coming out, you didn't have no digital wallet on your smartphone, you know, tablet. But now you do. You know, face scans and fingerprint scanners are all a part of these digital devices with which you can use to scan the chip in your hand, right? It says, with core MDL technology established, there has been widespread acknowledgement that mass adoption depends on where people can use digital licenses. And soon it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be all over the planet. All right? But they're rolling it out gradually. Right? It says in efforts to try and make verifying MDLs easier for businesses. Let's say you just turned 21, right? And you want to go buy your first case of beer from the gas station. Well, instead of you pulling out your wallet or your purse with your driver's license on it, you just have them scan your phone. Or, hey, like they showed you in the old Goody Mob video, was that cell therapy back in the day? They showed you in that video where they were scanning the hands for the mark. See, people been new. Jake been new. These rappers, these celebrities, which are lesser luminaries, they've been knew about this coming technology. Okay, but now Esau's at the point where he can actually distribute it. You know, and I was just giving you a scenario, but these businesses are going to be set up to accept the digital ID and the chip soon. It says a notable finding in the survey is that nearly 70% of respondents said they would prefer to obtain an MDL or digital ID through an official government channel, right? Now, does not the prophecy say that the beast, right? It says that the beast is going to introduce the mark. The beast is the government, right? Which is the Empire of Rome reincarnated in the form of the governments of Europe and America and NATO. Okay, because everything is reincarnated. All right. Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. That's his new system, which is in the form of Rome, but now it's like a digital Rome, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Because like I said, if you are not complying with the digital ID system, you don't take the mark in your hand or your forehead, then you'll be seen as an enemy. All right, verse 16. And he causes all, right, the government of Esau, the beast system, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So in order for you to participate in this emerging digital society, you're going to have to be a part of the digital ID system. Okay? That's the times that we're living in. All right? Okay, let me read back here. So it says, a notable finding in the survey is that nearly 70% of respondents said they would prefer to obtain an MDL or digital ID through an official government channel. Why you think Trump signed the Genius Act, which set up stablecoin as a digital currency for America, right, behind the dollar. It says, such as a state-sponsored wallet, that's your stablecoin, rather than through a mobile wallet provider, because the beast is going to take over everything. Everything is going to be in control of Esau. Pretty much private ownership is going to be done away with. It says this bucks the common notion that people see digital ID as a path to government oppression, which it is, right? And the accompanying idea that familiar tech giants like Apple and Google will be most people's preferred wallet option, which they're all in on it, right? Then Trump just had this meeting a few weeks back with the heads of the tech world. So they're all a part of the coming digital system. Okay? It says additionally, 6 out of 10 respondents would choose to download and use a state province digital wallet rather than an original equipment manufacturer wallet, such as those offered by smartphone manufacturers. But they're all in on the plan. So whether it's the government or whether it's Apple or Google, right, Android, doesn't matter. Because the currency that they're using will be the digital currency that the government institutes. Okay? So like I said, this is another step closer to the Motb. Okay? Let's see here. And other countries around the world are setting this system up. So this is coming out of Denmark, over there in Europe. It says Denmark mandate. So here's another mandatory digital enforcement. Denmark mandates facial recognition to keep violent fans out of football stadiums. So if you want to go, and by football, it's speaking about soccer for us Americans over here, right? And I'll just read this quick point. It says the Danish government has announced the implementation of legislative reforms which will include the mandatory deployment of facial recognition systems to address fan violence in some football venues across the country. So if you go to these sports stadiums, whether it's soccer or whatever, cricket, right? Then over there in Europe, right, they can check you out through facial recognition, which is, another part of the digital surveillance system emerging, along with the digital ID system. And they can identify you, and if you cause any problems, they'll arrest you. Right? That's why we got Palantir over here, which is being set up in D.C. and through satellites and so forth. They want to watch and surveil the system over here in America, surveil the people more accurately. Now you got it to where people are being fired for what they're saying online because of what happened with CK, right? This is here. It says here, employees fired, suspended at major Atlanta companies over comments about CK being unalive. So that's why we gotta watch what we say, man. So I'm guessing is this let me see here. It's a lot of pop-ups. Okay, it's just a video here. Okay, so things are being more surveilled now. So we have to be aware of what we're speaking on and how we're saying these things, right? Here's another one. This is another article from here in Atlanta. Let's see here. 3 teachers, you can read it here on the left. Matter of fact, let me do this. So it says 3 teachers placed on leave for posts about CK being unalive. Right? So I'm just reporting on the news. So it says at least it's out of Cobb County, Georgia. At least 3 teachers are on administrative leave after posting comments about CK on social media. So they're watching everything. Remember, they're already setting up the internet and certain websites for digital, age verification. Google, YouTube, other social media sites setting it up. So more and more, your speech is being monitored. Now, like I mentioned over here in Denmark, they want to watch your face, right? And there's another article that mentioned about gate registration, gate identification, how you walk. Let's see if it's over here on the side. But there's a lot going on. So there's a lot when it comes to this digital system. So this here says Syrian NGO, the country of Syria, looks to digital identity infrastructure to rebuild post-Assad. So with these countries being rebuilt from war and so forth, Esau is coming in, and the next thing for rebuilding these countries and these places around the world is to set up a digital system. And I've been saying, listen, we are coming in a time where the Motb will be implemented. So it says Syria was held under the oppressive rule of its former dictator for 14 long years. Right? That's the story, right? Its people suffered human rights abuses, conflict, war, and over a decade of arrested development. Now it faces the hard task of redeveloping, which includes basic services of the state. And remember, they had that major earthquake a little while ago, about a year or so ago. It says, earlier this year, the new Syrian leadership asked Turkey to assist in producing new official ID documents, which includes passports, identity cards, and driver's licenses, right, just like America's doing, but they're going to be digital. Turkish officials said document production will be along the same lines as the country's own chip-based passport. So everything will have to have some kind of digital chip or some platform tied to their digital services, right? ID and driver's license, ensuring the documents meet international security and identification standards, right? Because they're setting up, once again, for the prophecy of the mark of the beast. They're setting up for this technology to be mandated out here. So I just wanted to speak on that, the update on the digital ID system and the coming Motb. Elon Musk is currently implanting his Neuralink in the brains of different patients around the world now, right? Where it says the mark in the forehead, and more people are getting the implant in the hand, whether it be tattoo parlors or over there in Sweden, purchasing on their own. Hey, GMS is right when it comes to the Motb. And all you Israelites, you're going to see that GMS has been right. So the prophecies are coming to pass. This was the news and prophecy, right? The Motb update. With that, I'll say shalom. Hope you were edified. Hope your brothers and sisters were edified. Shalom.